Hello friends, and welcome back to Scholastically Natalie, where sometimes we write, read, or talk about D&D. Today I wanted to discuss writing. I have a really hard time getting motivated and sorting out my plot lines and writing in general because I am unmotivated. But recently I was watching the Sorry Girls, and they were talking about an app called Milanote, and I actually, well, not an app, it's a website and an app, but I actually also saw it on another DIY channel that I was watching, whose name I forget now. I am so sorry. So I decided to try it out. I opened with the template for, I think, just story setup or plotline or something like that. I can't even remember what it's called now. It only came with the opening, rising action, climax, and then resolution. I added in the falling action, and then I started my own subplot because there are two different plots going on, and it doesn't make sense to only have one active. And one cool thing that I did find out is that this, little thingum lets you connect things and make lines out of it. It's kind of confusing to me. It's pretty intuitive to use so far. I definitely like being able to control where things appear and how they appear. It's quite nice. I get to fiddle around with all my tiny little I'm just kind of wasting time procrastination parts, but I definitely like it. So I already started inputting some things because I wasn't really thinking about talking about it in the video. So my main plot is about what I was attempting to work on for NaNoWriMo, which I ultimately failed at. I'm unmotivated. But it's set in my personal homebrew D&D universe, and it's an NPC that my party has interacted with and does not like, but I like her way too much. So I'm trying to help design how things work. I have a vague idea of things, although when I was writing the short story for this, it ended up being 16 pages, 19 when I was done editing it. And it has the possibility of being expanded, is all I'm saying. So, in the opening, I liked starting it out how I did, which is having the main character die and then being brought back, because in my universe, if somebody dies doing something that impresses a god, or with some sort of final thought that a god thinks is impressive, they can be brought back as a dragonborn, and thus they are viewed as, true interpreters of acting in the will of their god. So, obviously, she's going to be reborn to a dragonborn in the first chapter-ish. And the god who resuscitates her is the god of vengeance and storms called Ronim. And so, in the opening, I think I might have her burn the bodies, get rid of the bodies. Meets strangers investigating. Well, oh, I didn't mean to do that. How do I go back? Ah. Oh no. How do I add a new thing? Do I press enter? Oh no. Oh. No. Align center. Oh, well. That was a mistake that I don't know how to undo. I didn't mean to do that. But I also don't know how to fix it. Okay, well, that's fine. It's fine. It's all fine. What's that mean? Oh, that's weird. I don't like that. Nope, we'll take that off. Here we have Dawn dies on the floor of the temple. Let's have her wake surrounded by bodies. I think for this one I'm gonna change it to after the dwarves have left. I think it's gonna be only partially transformed. I don't know. She starts to make her way around the church to gather supplies, respectfully moving bodies out of her way. How do I add another text thing? Export, no. I just really want to add. Wait. Okay, I'm just a little bit dumb. So the next big beat is, of course, emotional reaction, upheaval. I don't think I spelled that right. Oh, I did. Good job, me. And then we have let's see. Here's people coming. Hi, it's outside in the bushes. See. Meets vague approximation of party. Unknowingly meets Thermala. She doesn't introduce herself. I'm still not sure if I want to do a whole violence begets violence, or like be careful what you wish for, because I think it's gonna end up being more of a violence begets violence, because no, it's more of a be careful what you wish for, because she does agree to do whatever Ronan wants her to do in order to take her revenge. And because of this, he kind of starts warping her mind and ultimately making her only loyal to him. And she starts to lose her humanity. And I like that. So I'm kind of questioning if I should have her only have a partial transformation at first. Which I think I should do, just because having her be fully transformed and accepting her purpose is probably going to be the rising action. Let's see. Surrounded by bodies after Dora awakes, surrounded by bodies and partially transformed. We'll see if that stays. It's kind of a vague idea. And then for my rising action, let's see, party has left, so Dawn finishes gathering supplies and sets out. She first comes to a small fishing village. No, what did I name it? Come here, you. I don't even think this is the way I set it up the first time, but I think this is how it's going to work. Yeah, I want this one to come later. So, what is Rivertown? Wow, I'm so good at naming things, guys. Comes to small fishing village Rivertown to find that the entire settlement has been slaughtered by the dwarves to prevent pursuers. I don't think I spelled that right. There we go. Let's see, through the next couple of towns. Dawn finds those Ronim would have her punished. Oh, that scared me. Sorry guys, my GroupMe is still surprisingly active. Oh my goodness. It's my D&D players debating what feats the one should get. Let's see, through the next towns, Dawn finds those Ronim would have her punish. Starting with vast offenses to those he claims stolen from him. I'm not entirely sure. In this town, such as murder and destruction of holy artifacts. In this town, the punished supposedly stole a necklace from Ronim's temple. Dawn is unable to find it after killing him. She begins to doubt Ronim. See, this is the thing. I'm not sure if I want my climax to be her doubting Ronim. I think it is. This one. Let's see. Dawn has to sneak onto a mass teleportation. In order to get further up the continent. This is the first time she has killed in cold blood without Ronum's orders. Climax. Dawn is sent to kill a thief. He doesn't have the necklace he stole and protests ever having it. Dawn begins to doubt. She makes it to a port town within the Dwarven... Well, I don't need to say the Dwarven country. I know what the Dwarven country is called. Within Khazadar. Here, she joins a train for a peaceful ride through the beautiful countryside, passing rams and farmers, seated behind a mother and her son, who so remind her of her now dead family. They too are headed to the Dwarven capital. Dawn arrives in the Dwarven capital and poses as a tourist. She sees the happy citizens, their fortune, the love and care in the city. And within her, the feeling of hate that has been building as she kills builds within her. She stands on the steps of the palace and calls down divine punishment. I finally sorted out for myself whether Dawn was going to blow up Khazadar or not. The answer is she does. So then in the following action, which is the immediate after effects of the climax, the divine no, that's not what I wanted to do. Her divine intervention works. Dragons of Ronum's creation. Beautiful beings, a seamless mesh of sky and lightning. Land on almost every rooftop. They crush buildings beneath their feet. And lightning exposed surfaces and skin. Let's see, I don't remember how I described this. I don't know if this is the one that I expanded or not. Yeah, no, this is not the one that I expanded. Where did I put you, Nani Remo? Is it this one? Why are you with Doc X? That's weird. It's not this one either. Where do you live? Oh, yes, darkened sky. I think it's this one. Yes, because I started to write for Thermalin as well. Yes, I started with somebody different who was in the city because before I had left it. Okay. Offered him. Oh yes, this one's. I'm remembering that I really wanted this to be good. Okay. This shortcut was his favorite as it offered him a nice view of the top tier of Khazadar, the palace looming over the rest of the city, its domed roof making an interesting shadow fall across it. It should be an it, not the city. Once the sun had moved higher into the sky, the stained glass that formed the dome reflected rainbows all over the city, filling it with 1,000 dancing lights. This early in the morning, the sun reflected only a few strips of color as it barely peeked out from the clouds. Kyne sighed, pausing in his trek down the alley as the sky began to grow dark, clouds swirling into a dark mass suspended as far as his eyes could see along the horizon. He didn't feel any rain as the clouds swirled tighter, not even the hint of water in the air. Instead, all he could feel was a sort of building electricity, faint crackling echoing between metal and flesh as swords, door handles, and clasps met their owner's skin. The sharp tang of ozone that Kyne had barely noticed this morning grew stronger, until he was choking on the sweet scent, one that burned his nostrils and clung to the back of his throat. He coughed, doubling over in the alley, and by the time he straightened back up, the sky had darkened to the depths of midnight. The only light was from the lightning crashing through the clouds above, illuminating the city every few seconds. Kyne couldn't help but stare up at the palace, where the bright flashes reflected off the glass roof, blinding in their intensity. He blinked to clear the white spots from his eyes, halos outlining the towering buildings around him. The clouds roiled, swirling dangerously in a spiral, a large hole opening in the center. Sparks of electricity surged across the gap before coalescing into a massive strike of lightning that thundered onto the palace. With a resounding crash, the palace exploded. Shards of glass and masonry propelled through the air, breaking the buildings surrounding him. Emerging from the crater that once was the palace was a towering shape, one that crackled, sparks of lightning flowing over the four-legged form. Kyne froze, unable to move, as the beast the size of the palace shifted, masonry and glass cracking and crunching under its great weight, towering wings rising from its body. The serpentine neck stretched towards the swirling clouds, thick horns stretching back over its head, gossamer spines that seemed more translucent fin than sturdy keratin, allowed the light of the electricity through. The hulking beast seemed to be the center of the storm, sparks eternally raining from its body, lightning flowing over its still form. The jaw opened, alarmingly large teeth glinting as it roared. The sound echoed over the city, a vicious sound that stopped everything in its tracks, a sound akin to that of a thunderstorm. Kine was frozen, the sound rattling his bones, as more and more lightning struck down, collapsing buildings, decimating houses and shops and stables. From those stricken, destroyed places, wooden structures ablaze, half broken, rose more dragons. None were as large as the first, though some approached that gargantuan size. Answering roars called back from throughout the city, a great groaning reminiscent of stone grinding upon stone. Oh, that was some great writing. Good job, self. Okay. So the divine intervention happens. The capital begins to be utterly destroyed. People are killed carelessly. As Dawn watches, transfixed and almost disassociating from what she's done. The city is on fire. Half of it is flattened, while dragons chase and menace and eat people through the other half. There's a young girl trapped against an alley wall. A young dragon approaching. Oh my goodness, it scared me again. Dragon approaching her, snarling. And Dawn starts to move, to intervene. But she can't. Something running stops her from moving. This is what she asked for. Vengeance. Salted earth. Utter desolation. And he will provide. Okay, so then we've got the resolution, which, as you know, we're wrapping up loose ends, so oh no, I'm tired. Let's see, Khazadar. Let's see. I keep doing that. Half of Khazadar is utterly destroyed, uninhabitable, and absolutely nothing will tread there ever again. Unless they want to invite their own destruction. The few survivors that exist tell tales of a blue dragonborn that called upon the storm. The name Dawn, the unrelenting, reaches the core corners of the world. She is feared. A ruthless, merciless killer that only serves one master. Wrong. She herself has surrendered to her fate, unwilling to test the bonds that tie her to her god. She follows his orders and tries not to think. The word of the tragedy reaches Tharmala. A simple dwarf she remembers that Dragonborn. And I think this one is more of a question. I think I'm gonna make it red. Oh, wait. That's not helpful. Let's not do this. I'm gonna make it colorful because it's more of a question. Although, well, that's not what I wanted. Oh, okay, so this I can take. Oh, okay, that makes sense. This is more of a question than a certainty. I'm not sure if I want to do a Tharmala thing. I have written some of her beginnings because I like the ideas that I have for her, because her backstory is really interesting. But we'll see if I can get the Unrelenting Dawn finished first. We shall see. I'm gonna work on the subplot tomorrow. I hope this was mildly interesting for you. I'm slowly figuring out how to work Milanote. I think this is really cool and quite fun. I'm excited to see what mood boards look like, to be honest. So I'm quite excited to see what comes of this. Yeah, anyways, thanks for watching. I'm probably going to be playing around with Milanote for the next 3 million years. I am using the free version, and I think there's a limited amount of spaces I can use, but I don't plan on filling them too quickly. I'm trying to focus on the Unrelenting Dawn. The hard part is writing it without just copying and pasting my own writing already. So I will see you guys in the next one. I hope this was mildly entertaining, if not enjoying. Let me know if you're trying to work on any writing, or if you have suggestions for anything I've written here, thoughts, feelings, just general updates to your life, I guess. And I will see you guys in the next one. Scholastically Natalie is out.